Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Bigger and better today than yesterday. Julian Laurent is with us, Craig Burley and Shaka Hislop as well. All right, first question for Juls. You're not going to get bothered by anybody there today, are you, Juls? You got no stalkers behind you?
No, not today. Producer Pete said, not anymore, not like yesterday. I mean, that German guy yesterday was so drunk. I mean, he didn't want to leave. When he heard that, Craig Burley was part of the ESPN team, he was like, Craig Burley? Yeah, I want to see him. I want to, so...
Big taxi drunks are great.
I could be big in Germany. I'm big in Germany.
I could be big in Germany. What, like Hasselhoff?
I've been to Stuttgart and Berlin. I'm a travel man. He's seen me somewhere. He's seen me somewhere.
Could be. All right, first question for Juls. Juls, what's been your favourite stadium to watch a match so far in this tournament?
That's a good question. I mean, some like Gelsenkirchen are great stadiums inside, but to get there, my words. I mean, obviously coming from Paris and living in London now, I'm going to be a bit snobby and staying here in Berlin. Going to be snobby with some of the cities I go to, right? Because I'm used to, obviously, the top of the top. But the way that to get to Gelsenkirchen and to leave Gelsenkirchen, the tram stopped in the middle of nowhere for no reason for half an hour. Then there was no train. It was an absolute shambles. So I won't pick Gelsenkirchen, although it's a lovely, lovely stadium. If you've got the chance to go and watch Schalke or if Germany play there, go because it's special. But just get ready. It's an absolute nightmare to get to and back. Basically, I would say Dortmund yesterday because Dortmund is always special with the yellow wall that they have. Although it was not yellow yesterday, it was half blue or half white. Pretty cool. Düsseldorf looks like a mall from the outside, but it's nice inside. I would probably say Leipzig. I was not too keen, so I would go for Stuttgart. Stuttgart was lovely.
Oh, very nice.
I've been to that stadium many years ago. That's why I'm big in Germany. Now these stories of the travel in Germany, some of the travel, not all, but there's been some problems. If you follow Derek Ray on Twitter, right? According to Derek, leading into this tournament, and many months and years before this tournament even evolved, Germany has the greatest ever transport system in the history of the world.
Hang on a minute. He does also update us on X, Twitter, of the trains going on.
Yeah, but he never comes on. He
lets us know in case we need to. And right now, some people do need to know.
Yeah, but he never ever comes on and says, the transport has been a disaster, the Germans need to get the finger out. He doesn't.
So what you're saying is Jules needs to follow Derek on Twitter to get his transport advice.
Well, I'm sure he
does. Apparently Jules has just been winging it and it's not worked.
Well, maybe Jules has been reading Derek's tweets and he got the wrong impression and he thought he'd be fine to get the tram out.
I got unlucky, I think.
We know we know Derek's love of Germany. My point being is that he must be at this criticism. He must be very Harry Kane-esque.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne going, don't criticise the trains. Get behind us. If indeed you can get behind the train, I don't know. So yeah.
Who's bigger in Germany, you or Derek?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Who's bigger in Germany, you or Derek?
Well, I don't want to say.
Have you been on the German talk shows?
I think my Ard, is that Ard? A-R-D? Ard, lad. Ard, yeah. I'm fed up. I tell you what, I've had to block them. You know, I want to say, when I scored at the World Cup, sorry to mention it, I did get an offer, and I've told you this, I did get an offer from a dentist in Munich to fix my teeth. That's a true story. What are you laughing at? I got an offer the next day.
What happened?
I've heard this story like 10 times already.
I know. I told you. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. All right, I will. So you laugh all you like. You laugh. But after that goal and pics in the paper, I got an offer in Germany to have my teeth fixed. Right? And I turned it down because I would have been mobbed. All right, move on. More questions. It's late in Berlin. More questions.
All right, for Craig. Yesterday, Stevie admitted that he gets more excited for an England loss than a Scotland win. What about you? Are you the same as Stevie?
No, I'm definitely not the same as him. We're made slightly different. Do you know what? He gets more perturbed with England than I do. I don't really have an issue with England because I've lived most of my life in England and 99% of my buddies are English. That being said, I don't mind a little bit of glorious failure. You know, when they really get the hopes up and Dan Thomas gets like a big kid and then all of a sudden the French beat them or the Germans beat them in the semi-final. That's fine. What? Okay?
Yeah.
What?
Did she get a little overexcited too?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know if you guys are watching an England game with me.
No.
But you said that was in
So I don't.
yesterday, right? 2 days ago. Yesterday.
Dan's a proper punter.
Yeah.
We've established that.
But I don't get what I don't.
Yeah, you're right. I've never watched England with you.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're like.
Well, you're always in LA. They travelling, vacation. I don't know. I don't get upset. Because doing this job, I understand England have got good players. They're making a mess of it at the moment, but they have good players, so I expect them to play well. So I don't really get perturbed. The Scottish side of it, I think you just have to accept that Scotland are where they are at the moment. So when you roll all those things out, I don't really. I mean, I wouldn't beat myself up if England won this tournament. I wouldn't be like, I'd just play more golf. I don't know.
And avoid Dan at all costs.
You play more golf if England win or lose.
I don't know.
That's fairly consistent.
But he gets very.
You're not the same as Steve,
But Nico gets very angry at stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He does.
He does.
There's a funny dynamic yesterday with him and Dan. Dan's cheering everything. Stevie's poo-pooing everything. It's so funny. It's funny.
Have you ever seen? People have never seen this. Have you ever sat in where we sit watching the game, and Stevie has a bag of chips. It's about that size, right? It's incredible. Normal people, they buy the regular. Sorry, over here. The regular chip size. Not. He's got this size, and I mean, you've got to put the arm in like that. Oh, I'm going to drop my mic. But
just as long as it's not Don's hand, because Don found out he doesn't like to share.
He doesn't like to share.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, you don't get Stevie's size by sharing.
Moving on. For Shaka, pick, drop and bench these goalies.
As he always says to me, have you looked in the mirror recently? No.
Pick, drop or bench these goalies. Unai Simon, Georgi Mamadashvili and Gigio Donnarumma, based on current form.
Oh, man.
Who was the first one?
Unai Simon.
Unai Simon. Based on Euro form, I'll go Donnarumma, Mamadashvili, Unai Simon.
Okay.
What, Donnarumma dropped?
No. Donnarumma, pick, bench, and I drop Unai Simon. Donnarumma for Italy is not the same. It's not the same player who plays for PSG.
Yeah.
Better.
Oh, he's a million times better.
Juls, has the tournament expansion made group play more or less interesting?
I mean, both really, because we've seen with Georgia, Slovakia, Slovenia, those kind of teams, which is great stories for them, great stories for the tournament. I think it's different teams qualifying for the last 16 the knockout stages is great. I think those players will improve. Those national team and selections, it's great for them. But you've also seen in the England group yesterday, when a draw is enough for everybody draws, they don't really care. It's 0-0, 2-0, it was boring. And then, so you've got, I think, the two sides of the coins, really, and which you'll never be able to fix. Now, they're never going to reduce the size of the Euros. The only thing that they could do, again, like the World Cup, is increasing it. I don't think it will happen anytime soon, but it will stay like that. And I suspect in 4 years' time, we'll have similar scenario where some groups are going to be very exciting until the end because of the first two games, the way they went, and others, a bit like the England group, where 2 draws, we don't need to win, we're happy with the 0-0, and so it would be like that. So we just need to get used to it. But yeah, it brings you both sides, really, the very exciting stuff and the more boring stuff.
I'd love to have been at this tournament. It's the logistics. I mean, the security detail that I would need, just don't have the budget for. Be like Justin Timberlake walking down through Berlin.
I'm going to ask that. I don't believe this. I'll have to ask Derek because he is the authority on Germany.
Well, not on trains, he's not. He's only authority on running trains, not ones that are 3 hours late, crammed with
Definitely
people.
not on trains.
Definitely
not on trains. What do you call trains in German?
He does keep us up to date.
Anybody know? Have we got anybody?
Jules knows.
No,
Anybody?
Hauptbahnhof. Yeah, Hauptbahnhof is the central central station. So Bahnhof is station, Bahn is train, I guess, because the train company is called Deutsche Bahn. So Bahn is train, I guess.
Deutsche Bahn.
I don't know, and Dutch for German. Yeah.
Deutsche Bahn. Shaq?
There's some things you wake up in the morning and you think, I'm not going to be talking about German trains, am I?
Well, not you.
You never, I'm never prepared for a conversation about German trains
Well, what
in the morning. I just didn't
Craig.
I didn't see my life panning out this way.
What about Italian trains?
Well, I didn't expect
They
all
are
that.
good, I can confirm. Craig, will David Moyes be in the running to be the next Scotland boss, or do you see him staying in club football?
I think it would be less stressful for him to possibly take an international job now. There is a lot of talk at the moment, or there is some talk in Scotland about Steve Clarke being replaced, because I think it's a little harsh in a sense that, you know, he's taken Scotland to 2 major championships. They didn't go to any for over 20 years. But then there is an argument to say, well, the performances, particularly in the Hungary game and the team selection, was too negative at a time when they had to push forward. So there's pros and cons there. But it's not my call, obviously. But if they do replace him, I think David Moyes will definitely be in the running. A bit like Alec McLeish was when he left club football, a bit like Walter Smith, the late great Walter Smith was when he left club football at Rangers and Everton, because of the day-to-day grind. And it actually suited those guys. And I could see it suiting somebody like David Moyes, a bit like Jose Mourinho, in a sense that you're kind of waiting for him to take an international job, because how much of the rigours of this day-to-day stuff can you keep putting yourself through that the likes of Mourinho and others have? And whilst international football is not without stress, does not have the day-to-day responsibility that club elite level football has. So I could see that happening with David Moyes, but then some people just have it in their veins, don't they? They don't want to have 2 months without a game. They don't want it. They want to be involved in day training and decisions, and just they can't let it go. And I don't know if David Moyes is like that or not, but maybe he has got one eye on a Scottish job if it does come around.
I'm not going to ask Craig this because I think he's made his feelings very clear. But Jules, is it fair for managers and players to ask fans not to criticise them, or does this seem overly sensitive on their part?
Mommy.
Shall I let Craig go first, or
Yes, please.
I start
Yes,
just
please.
to warm him up a bit, and then he can go?
Ow.
I mean, surely this question was put there to wind him up, because, like he explained rightly on the show, this is part of your job. Like, if you're not ready for the criticism, then don't become a professional footballer. This is not for you. It's part of your job. If you're not good, people are not going to be happy. The media, the fans. And then you're going to get criticized, sometimes heavily criticized, sometimes a little bit criticized, sometimes in the middle. And right now, they get heavily criticized. But you cannot ask people who pay their travel, pay their tickets, pay a lot of money, even sometimes for some television, TV channels, to watch you and then say, oh, please, be kind to us. Like, is that the Care Bear world? There's something I'm missing for Harry Kane to be behaving like this now?
I mean, what's the mindset here? I don't want to go. Keep going over this. It's a little bit of old ground, but obviously Kevin De Bruyne has made some comments after the Belgium game, the final group game, that has sort of spurred it on a little bit again. But you know, what is any pundit, analyst, journalist getting behind, and not? How is that going to improve a player's performance on the field? That has to come from the player himself, the players. Whether Shaka, Juls and myself or anybody sits and goes, Harry Kane's been the worst England player at this tournament, or Harry Kane it's everybody else's fault, but Harry Kane has been excellent. Whatever way you go, what difference is that going to make to Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne or anybody else? You cannot. You're the only one that can change the narrative by your performance. And it's been this way since day dot. Day dot, when players back in the day, years ago, the only way they'd find a criticism by picking up a newspaper, which they did, and you got your marks out of 10, and it still happens that way, but obviously there's more ways you can pick your news up. And whether it was the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, it didn't matter. That criticism was there. Nothing's changed.
If you say anything, it is going to make a documentary, so just be careful what you say, all right?
All right, I'll try. I'll build on what Craig said. The only way you change the narrative is by the way you play. We can't change the way you play with our narrative. So it doesn't matter. We can't say, if England are poor and we sit here for some very strange reason and say England have been really good, that doesn't change their performance in the next game. That doesn't make them any better. So I don't understand the criticism around the media and what's said. We can't. It doesn't matter if we sit here and say England are good, bad, or indifferent. That doesn't mean that you go and beat Slovakia or whoever is the next game. That only you can take care of that. That's we have nothing to do with that. So I just find the whole kind of everything about it just so disingenuous.
The last question is for you, but it's Jules who has to answer, Shaka.
All right, okay.
Jules, as a well-travelled man, where would you recommend Shaka spend his next vacation at?
Well, we had a good time in Qatar, didn't we?
We did.
With Shaq 18 months ago. That was pretty good. We did. I would love him to come to Paris so I could show him, my city, the nice restaurants with the view on the Champs-Élysées or the Eiffel Tower. Him and I could have a romantic meal. We could do loads of really lovely things there. There's great clubs. We don't have a carnival, but we've got some good parties there and there, especially at weekends in Paris. So I would love to take him to Paris.
Well, what's clubs got to do with me?
Come on,
I can recommend, if you ever go to Paris,
okay.
if you ever do go to Paris,
Right.
and I was there for 6 weeks for the Euros in 2016, that there's a very good delicacy that the French really like. And our colleague Steve McManaman, he decided to try it, which was penne arrabbiata with fries on top.
That is the most Steve Nicol thing I've heard.
Steve McManaman.
I know, but you talk about
Now, hold on a minute.
chips on top.
Even Nicol wouldn't do that.
Oh, he wouldn't do
Really?
the spicy penne, would he?
Oh, right,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Okay.
No, he wouldn't do
Yeah,
spicy.
would-
But
yeah, he would
it's
do the
very
spicy.
English, isn't
No,
it?
he wouldn't do-
To
Well, he
go
wouldn't
to
do.
Paris and order an
But
Italian.
you could so see
dish.
Stevie
Well-
dumping chips.
Well, it wasn't the Italian dish per se, because there's a nice little Italian cafe just around the corner
The
from
chips with
the
the
hotel.
with the pasta.
Who were offering up some different variations
Fries.
of penny, yeah. But it was McManaman's, even the initial, I'll have a side plate of fries with my penne arrabbiata, kind of made me go, whoa, hold on a minute. Side plate of fries with penne arrabbiata, a little bit strange. But then it was the mechanical arm that came in from McManaman, the aforementioned, who's coming over here, by the way. And then went like that and dropped a handful of fries, on top of the penny.
You know how bad it has to be for somebody to say, not even Stevie would do that. Not even Stevie Nicol would do that. You know how bad it has to be.
Well, he wouldn't have a penny in the first place.
Well, Jules, what would the French be thinking about that? Those Parisians watching that?
Nah, I think I'm hoping that they chucked him out of the restaurant because this is a disgrace.
Well, it wasn't a particularly nice area of Paris. It was only the Saint-Germain area. I think I got that right. Saint-Germain.
right, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you very popular in
Saint-Germain.
France as well?
Could barely go out. In fact, I had to put some fries in my head as a disguise.
European legend
I
Craig
told you
Burley.
about the offer I got to fix my teeth in France. It's late for Jules. It's late for Jules.
It is late for Jules. Let's let him go. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Thanks you guys for sharing all of your stories. The team will be back tomorrow to do it all over again.